Hello and welcome back.
Hello everybody. Hello friends. Thanks so much for tuning in again this week. We know that you're all desperate and dying to find out whether we've had a baby yet. The answer is by this time next week, we're pretty confident that you'll be meeting the new Newby.
It's all happening here, folks.
It is.
But for this week, we wanted to share something a little bit different. And this is one of our travel vlogs from our trip earlier in the year in the USA.
Yeah, we've been saving this one up because we knew today would come when we'd be wondering, oh gosh, what can we put out on a Sunday that would be entertaining enough and make sure that you feel included enough in our journey. And this felt perfect.
It did. It's something that we have shared with our Patreons a few months ago. If you don't know what Patreon is, it's a space where we've got a growing community of people who have access to exclusive content, just like this vlog, which we release a couple of times a month. And we're loving to get to know everybody there. So thank you so much if you're already on Patreon. And if you're not, why not come and check it out and see if you'd like to be a part of that too.
Absolutely. So Crusoe is going to look slightly smaller in this video, and Tara is going to look slightly smaller in this video too.
It is from earlier in the year, so things were a little bit different then.
Absolutely. It's visiting one of our favourite national parks on our American road trip. It was absolutely spectacular and we loved every minute of it. On that note, next year we will be spending, of course, a lot of time at the farm, but we are planning a couple of trips off to different countries. So it would be really great. We haven't got anything set in stone just yet. So if you've had, or if you've visited a national park recently, or you've had a trip of a lifetime, we'd love to hear about it in the comments below.
Yeah, please let us know. And most importantly, there is a really important announcement in this video. So stay tuned.
There is,
to see what it is.
Yeah, I love it. We worked so hard on this announcement. Yeah. And I hope when you're watching it, it just makes you smile as much as we smiled when we were making it, and every time we watch it too. It's
probably the most cringy and excellent thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it is. Really retro.
So let us know what you think of that too. But
absolutely.
If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, join our journey, and I think that's enough waffling from us.
Blah, blah, blah.
On with the show.
Oh, if you're wondering where Crusoe is, he's asleep downstairs. He knows that fairly soon
life's about to change forever.
Absolutely. All right, on with the show.
On with the show.
We are the Newbys, a family of explorers who've taken root in northern Portugal and are currently renovating a small abandoned farm into our dream off-grid homestead. I'm Tara, born and raised in Zimbabwe with a love for wild spaces that comes from a childhood growing up on a farm in Africa. This is John, who's had a life on the road, visiting 163 of the world's 193 countries and counting. Wow. And this is our son Crusoe, who loves nothing more than to help his dad on the farm. In his first year of life, he visited 4 continents and 24 countries and is about to become a big brother. We're documenting our entire journey, and each Sunday we release a new episode with exciting new projects and stories. And we would love for you to join us. Hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and turn on those notifications so that you never miss an episode. Thank you for helping our channel grow and for supporting our family's journey. And remember, be brave, think big, explore.
This is the most remarkable thing about the journey we've just taken. Here we are now, Sequoia National Park, and just over these hills is Death Valley. Now, could you think of two more starkly different environments?
20 kilometres apart, look.
20 kilometres between them. The hottest, driest place on Earth, and the place that's got enough water and food to sustain the largest trees on Earth. Nature is extraordinary.
All right, so we are at the visitors centre here at Sequoia National Park. Yeah, I know. Mum's gone to get water, Crusoe. It's been left to Crusoe and myself to look at the map that we've been given. Like with all the national parks in the US, they give out a great map and a bunch of information when you come through the park gate. So we've got a really great map here. Things like big stumps, roaring river falls, lodgepole visitors centre and village. I mean, giant forest museum. I can't wait. So this is one of the national parks that I've never been to. And I'm very, very excited to be here. You can probably tell. We're going to see the world's largest tree. How cool is that? And a giant forest. And Tara has just arrived back. Crusoe's waving.
Okay, so the visitor centre's only just opening up, darling, so well done us, we're nice and early. But the rangers reckon it's going to be a busy day.
Do they?
They've put out like barricades to like funnel people and stuff. They say it's Sunday, it's always busy.
Okay, all
I
right.
think we've done well to be in early.
We have.
And I think we're right in going to that tree first of all.
Let's do it. Let's go to the world's largest tree first.
Yeah.
Just before we go, I want to tell everybody that you thought there were aliens in this national park.
We have just been in alien country. It's really easy to think they travel. That looks like a UFO.
It looks like a hat.
Well, it looked like a UFO from far. So we are just here and we're going to go all the way up to there. It really feels like balm for the soul after being in the desert. As John says, it's beautiful out there, but this, to drive into a place which is just so full of life. Yesterday we went for a walk and you could hear crickets and there's wildflowers everywhere and there's grass and there's tumbling rivers and The park's 36 sequoia groves are the world's most dramatic examples of old growth coniferous forest. They grace the Sierra Nevada's western slope in a 60-mile-long belt between 5,000 and 7,000 feet. Some tree species live longer, have greater diameters or grow taller like the cousins their coast redwoods, but no tree is larger than the giant sequoia in total volume of wood. It is the largest living tree on Earth. Wow. Haha, we are entering giant forest. I think, this windscreen is so filthy. Look at the size of that tree. Wow.
Oh, look at that. Holy shit, they're massive.
They're enormous. Wow.
Oh, wow.
That is incredible.
That is incredible.
Oh, I'm so excited to get out and walk amongst them. Wow. Trails.
So we're going to go for a nice walk today.
I think we're going to go for a couple of nice walks.
Some jolly big trees. But here's the thing. Tara and Crusoe came out well prepared for being up high. I didn't know we were going up high. I thought we were just going, and it was nice and warm when we were having coffee this morning. We've just passed 5,000 feet.
So it's going to be
it's
chilly
going to be a
today.
chilly start to the day. Never mind.
Never mind.
What a day to not pack a jumper. Totally unprepared. Again. That's a lot of snow on the ground, darling. It's going to be uncomfortably cold. Why didn't you tell me?
I didn't know.
I reckon you just, on purpose, were like, haha.
Darling, why would I do that?
John will be warm enough. He's got to drag Crusoe around on his back. Elevation 6,000 feet, 1,800 metres.
You could do your own research too, you know.
Yeah, but you always do the research, darling.
Yeah, but I didn't know it was going to be cold.
Look at the amount of snow.
Yeah,
there must be a metre there.
I didn't know it was going to be cold, darling. Sorry. Do you want to stay in the car?
It's cold.
How are you feeling? Linen summer shirt.
I'm feeling summery. Everybody else has got woolly hats on, so apart from feeling cold, I'm also going to feel pretty stupid. Never mind. I found one of Tara's old t-shirts in the car. That can be a pretty
It's not an old t-shirt. I brought that because I thought it was going to be hot today. So I thought when I want to take my jumper off, I'll put that on.
Oh, okay. Well, this is pretty good. Layer. Has Crusoe got any clothes I can rob? What's that?
Good news is...
Interrupt
that too, if you like.
this we interrupt our video to give you this important message.
tree. So I'm sticking on some of Tara's dirty clothes. And a few of my old clothes, dirty clothes. This is my favourite t-shirt. Look, I'm starting to look a bit snazzy here.
Crusoe, what's on Dad's t-shirt?
That's nice and warm. Starting to feel warmer.
Even Crusoe thinks you look daft. What's Daddy doing? Is Daddy daft? Should he have brought a jumper? Should Dad have brought a jumper?
All right, let's go and see the world's biggest tree. Yeah. There. Let's do it.
Let's go. Hey, buddy. I don't know if you all heard that, but John just said, look, Crusoe, it's like big in New York, but better.
So the redwoods in Northern California are taller than these sequoia trees, but the sequoia trees are just massive, you know?
Bigger in volume.
Yeah.
But there he is, the General himself. General Sherman is the biggest tree on the planet. Because although some are taller and some are bigger around the circumference, no tree has a greater mass. So from here we can see the tree from top to bottom. The top is dead. So its upward growth has stopped at 275 feet or 84 meters. Cool. As long as it lives, its trunk thickens, gaining mass. Each year, the General Sherman's tree trunk gains enough new wood to equal a very large tree in most other species. So I was just saying to John before we came around that corner that I haven't read anything that says how old they are. And the reason is they can't accurately date them because they'd have to drill these enormous holes through the trunk of the sequoia tree, which obviously they don't really want to do to count the rings. So they take just the edge of the bark and they count the number of rings at the edge of the tree and then estimate how many rings they would be throughout the trunk. And those estimations have given them an age of 1,500 to 3,000 years old for the biggest sequoias in this grove. Isn't that cool?
3,000 years old.
So he's 3,200 years old, General Sherman.
Is he?
Yeah. But he's not the oldest.
He is the biggest though.
He is the biggest. The oldest is a whole 1,000 years older than him.
4,200 years old.
Yep.
See the math I did there?
Even when you're cold.
A living thing that's 4,000 years old. That's quite remarkable. What have I heard of older? There are starfish in Antarctica that are 15,000 years old. No, but they don't move or do anything.
That's a bit dull.
I suppose a tree doesn't really do very much either.
I mean, it does a lot, but doesn't move, does it?
Wonder how much carbon is in
Do you
there.
know what's so cool is the reason that tree's so big is because its seed landed in the perfect place to allow it to get that big.
Yeah?
Not that one over there, and not that one over there. This one over here. So cool.
That is. Yeah, so we're going to go for a walk now, but I don't really want to leave the big tree. I want to hang around with the big tree longer. Amazing. You know, really, really special. And maybe made even more special because we've just come from the desert.
Yeah, I think so.
And it's like, wow, something that's alive can be so...
Darling, I'm not going to do so well like this.
Snow on the ground, slippy.
Slippy. I'm going to cling to the fence like an old lady. I really hate the feeling of slippy feet. Okay, about an hour.
Okay, that's a good one.
to loop back here on the Congress trails. Trail intersections can be very confusing, so if you hike beyond this point, it's safe to take a map. We do not have a map.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, so this trail is going to take us to, I think it's 8 of the biggest sequoias in this forest.
Cool.
Really cool, huh? So there's the President's Tree, there's the Senate Grove. Everyone's got quite fancy names.
John?
3.2 kilometres, and they say it's going to take us about an hour. Look at that little red nose, it's cold, eh?
It was the wrong clothes today.
You know what's so funny? Is at that cafe where we had coffee this morning, you said, what's the temperature today? And I said, 20 degrees. And you were like, oh, good, we dressed well then, didn't we?
Yeah, exactly. And here we are walking through the snow.
Idiots. At least Crusoe had enough clothes. That's the most important thing.
Well, I tell you what, the shirt's working out really well for me. I'm pleased that Tara's dirty clothes have proved useful.
Nothing like a bag of laundry to save the day.
Yeah. Hello, friend.
You're going to give him a hug?
We're hugging a tree, Crusoe. We're hugging a tree, me and you. I feel like I want to hug that one too. Nice.
Good hugs?
Great hug.
I'm going in for my hug.
That feels pretty special.
Oh, it does feel very special.
You look very small.
Is it?
Yeah.
I feel very small.
The sign just around the corner talks about how fire plays a really important role in the life of the sequoia tree.
Well, I think in fact without fire it wouldn't survive. So the heat from the fire causes the cones to open and then the seeds to rain down, and apparently thousands of sequoia seeds germinate after fire.
Okay, where are we going next?
Back to the car park and then back to that map to figure out where else we can go.
Yeah, take another hike. Come on.
Surely nothing more beautiful than twinkling snow in a forest of sequoias. Aren't we lucky, darling? So we just left General Sherman Tree and we drove up here in the hopes that we could carry on all the way up here to Kings Canyon National Park. But sadly, this road is closed.
Road is closed.
I don't know if it's because of the fire or if it's because of the snow, but either way, we can't get through. So we're going all the way back down again, back to the Foothills Visitor Centre. See if we can find a cup of coffee or a hot chocolate or something.
I'll be able to take Tara's clothes off.
Sounds a lot
nice,
more
doesn't it?
exciting than it actually is. And maybe we'll see if we can find another hike down here that's not icy. Hey, buddy.
Crusoe's always happy when he's got food in his hand. Life good, little man? Whatever, Dad. Okay, so we were on our way back down and then we remembered there's a tree that lies over the top of a road that you can drive under. But it's closed. Again, another closed road, so we can't drive under it, but we can take a walk, I think.
We think.
So we're going to try and walk under it instead of drive under it. But it's kind of a cool tree. I've seen lots of postcards of it. Anyway, off we go.
Off we go.
So we've just entered into an area that was part of the fire in 2021. And that's why the road is closed, I think.
Yeah, it is. So they've put up lots of warnings about hazardous conditions, and I've just seen a few of the trails are closed as well. I think they're worried about trees falling down and stuff, and It all just being a bit unstable as the winter thaws after the fires. Because they weren't that long ago, were they? I mean, it would have been the fire and then winter.
No, I remember following it in the BBC. Incredible views from up here. And you can smell the burned wood as well.
We have arrived. There it is. On my way. What have you learnt, my love?
So this is the result of the Great Depression. Remember we were talking about, where was it, at the Hoover Dam, about the early 30s, 1930s, when the Great Depression hit the world and the US especially was smashed by economic disaster. Well, at that point, it was Roosevelt, I think it was Roosevelt anyway, who put put America to work on public land. The tunnel log reminds us of the work young men who struggled to survive the Great Depression in the 1930s. The drive-through hole was a log carved out by the boys of the Civilian Conservation Corps, CCC. The Great Depression left millions unemployed. Congress created the CCC to put young men to work and get paychecks to their families. When this sequoia fell across the road on December the 4th, 1937, CCC worker Roy DeVoe of Weldon, California suggested cutting the tunnel.
And then in the 1930s, the CCC boys dug beneath a huge boulder in Sequoia's foothills, creating Tunnel Rock, which we saw on the way up. These places survived from a bygone tradition, altering natural features to create attractions that drew people to parks. Today, national parks are valued more for preserving landscapes unchanged.
Yeah, but I think anyway, since it's part of the history of the national parks, and not just the history of the national park itself, but the history of how people thought about national parks and how that thought process evolved.
And how people survived a really tough time.
Yeah, I think it's really great that they
cool,
did that.
Isn't it?
And I love this. You know, this is one of the reasons why we came to this national park.
Exactly, yeah.
As well as the big trees.
Yeah. Amazing. Right, boys, should we go find something to eat? I'm getting starving hungry.
No, let's call it a wrap, shall we?
Let's call it a wrap.
I think that's a wrap.
That is a wrap. Please remember, before you go, hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and join us for the journey.
And we'll see you next week.
Yes.
Yes.